is really to make a text easy to read. You gotta kind of think about who the target audience is and put yourself in their shoes and say, hey, you know, if I read something and I don't understand what the phrase is trying to say, like if it's an older form of English, then you might need to put a footnote right there on that page, because it's just easier than having to like go all the way back to the end just for one word, one phrase. Notes can be found in anything from just fiction. Sometimes they'll have a lot of footnotes if it's older fiction, older English fiction, and even with like nonfiction textbooks, they'll have a lot of glossaries for key terms, and also just an index for if you're studying a specific topic or time period in like a history book. You'll want the index. This is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Super, if I can get it to focus, super cheap edition. Barnes and Noble, kind of a summer reading type of book here. This book also has really big font with who the introduction and notes are by, which is really convenient. And flip. Wow, this is a long introduction. Okay. In case you don't trust who that person is, his name is Gillen Darcy Wood. He was born in Australia, where he received a master's degree in English. There's these key words here that just make you want to trust this person. He's got education, diploma of music, took his PhD from Columbia University. PhD is good. And he's an assistant professor of English at the University of Illinois. So they keep saying English. Here we go, romantic literature and art. So it just reinforces that, hey, you can trust his notes because he's got a strong background in the topic. It's like you're trusting your adventure to him and your own mind. An example of the kind of note you might find in this work of fiction, it has the number 6 here, and it says, after long and lonely spurring over dreary roads, they would come to a cluster of poor cottages, not steeped in darkness, but all glittering with lights, and would find the people in a ghostly manner in the dead of night, circling hand in hand around a shriveled tree of liberty, or all drawn up together, singing a liberty song. And if you're reading this and you're wondering what's a liberty song and what is a tree of liberty, you can go back to, there it is. The way they have these end notes organized in this book, there's that little heading. They have it by section and chapter. Super easy. So you can say, okay, I'm in chapter 1 of part 3, and this is what page I'm on. There's the number 6 that we were looking for, and it just says what they mean by trees of liberty here. And they've got the quote from the text in italics, which is really easy to distinguish content from the text versus an actual explanation, which is right here in the normal Roman font. It says the Tree of Liberty is a symbol of revolution, and the Liberty Song is the French national anthem, and the whole book is really just about the French Revolution. So there's a lot of notes like that as far as like context type notes. What else does this book have? This book has it's got that superscript 6 right there, and then you gotta look to see what page you're on. This one is more of a textbook, the Oxford History of Ancient Egypt. Ian Shaw is the editor, named their big old name there too. It's a collection of, this one's more expensive, a collection of ancient Egyptian history. That's further distinguished by the italics here versus the regular font. This textbook, unlike perhaps a piece of narrative literature, has large maps. This one takes up almost the whole page here, and this is just because so many places are referenced in this area near the Mediterranean, and there's Egypt down there. It's just easy for the readers to, while they're reading these pages, to say this is where they're talking about. It's not, they don't have to flip to the back every time they see a name, and there's so many names here. So it's easy. And it's labeled right here. Just really same font, just to blend it a little bit better. And you get your date as per usual on this. Center of the book, there are some glossy pages with artwork and photographs. They are all black and white. I think it's just to blend in, try to blend more with the text. And it's in the middle, I think. Just, I guess it seems like a reward for making it halfway through. That's what it seems. It seems, and you know, you've talked about the artwork and the photographs in the rest of this book, so it's nice to see something with your eyes to kind of match what you've been reading. The images are numbered, and they tell you specifically where to look. Number 1 is to the right, number 2 is below, and they use that italics to kind of just differentiate between what a direction is and what the content is. The book has a chronology section, and it's really important for if you need to understand further when these time periods began. And it starts on the left with the name of them, because that's what you're most likely to see in the book. And then if you need the context, there it is. There's the time periods for you. Really easy. I use bolts to highlight just the bigger picture of what period it is. Books will often have the glossary for all their key terms, and they're using that same font, which is good. They have their proper nouns in capitals, and they have, this is in alphabetical order. So if you see a word somewhere and you're not sure what it is in the text, it's really easy to find. It doesn't need to be numbered because you're looking for the word and you're not looking for like a superscript, like a note in the text saying, hey, look to glossary page number 1, which is actually page 472. It's not going to do that in this text because it wants you to be able to easily find what word is confusing you and to get to that moment so you can find out what it is. Just get more context. This is important for if you're coming to this book looking for a very specific piece of information. If you're looking to use it as a source, maybe if you found it at the library. These are in alphabetical order as well to make it really easy to find. And then it has the page numbers right next to them. It doesn't have a P or anything. It's just the number. And that, I'm sure, is just trying to stay consistent to the format that they've already adopted within the rest of this book. If you come to this wanting to find information on the first Persian period, there it is. Just super easy to track down. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.